Welcome! This video is designed to show you how to fill in the storyboard template for your picture book. So this is the template that we'll be using, and you can see it's got a big area here for you to draw each page of your picture book as a sketch, as a plan, and then around the outside it's got several spots for you to write down specific things. The idea is that the storyboard will give you a really clear representation of what your final product needs to look like. So there's quite a bit of detail that needs to go into it, and as I said, it's for every single page. So in this video I'm going to go through each of those sections I've just mentioned and show you, give you an idea of how you could fill them in. So let's start at the start. First we need to give our project a title. So for this one I haven't really thought of a title, but for my example, I'm going to do something about bullying, so maybe Bully can be the name of my my picture book, and you'll have that same title on every single page of your storyboard. Then you need to number each page, so you've got a maximum of 10 pages to work with, so it's important that you number each page so you know where you are. So this will be my first page, I'll just number it 1. As I said, every single page needs to have one page of storyboard for it. So I've numbered this 1, I'll have another one for page 2, page 3, a single storyboard page for each page of my story, of my picture book. Okay, before I draw the actual picture, I want to explain each of these three things down the side here. So I'm actually going to swap to typing because that'll be a bit easier for me. So the first thing is a general description. Basically what is shown on this page. So if your drawing's not too good, at least you'll have a written description of what the page should be showing. So for this one, it's a close-up of person crying in silhouette, bubbles showing their memories of people bullying them. Okay, so I know it might be a bit unclear right now, but that's a description for me that's clear of what the picture will be. We'll come back to this photographic and visual techniques, but this is where we provide really specific details of how we're using photographic techniques, art techniques to convey our idea. But I'll do that one last because that's quite specific. So instead let's come down to what is conveyed to the audience. So what idea is conveyed to the audience? What emotion is conveyed to the audience? So for this page I want it to be a sad image. So this is this page reflects the person's sadness. It shows that they are remembering the cruel things that have happened to them. Okay, so that's the idea I want to get across, that they are sad, that they're remembering the bad things that have happened to them. Now I need to really think about how am I going to do that in an image. So I could go straight here and start filling in the description of particular details. I've already got my general description, so I've already got an idea of how I'll get this message across to the audience. But for me right now, I want to go straight into filling in the image, and I'll do this section last. So I'm just going to swap back to my drawing tools. There we go. Okay. Now you've got a big square here to draw in, but you don't necessarily need to follow that. You can think about what shape will your pages be, and if you want to change it, you can just draw lines across, you know, to give it a different shape. I'll stick with the square for now because that's fine for what I want to do. So I'm here to draw my image. Few things to remember. We want to apply everything we've learnt so far. I want to think about the shot size. I want to think about the framing. I can think about use of color and lighting, and I can think about what the actors are doing, their body language. All of those things I should be thinking about as I draw my image. So starting with the rule of thirds, I'm going to draw a close-up of a person's face down here. Now I'm just drawing on the computer. I'm not the best artist, but I can get across a really I want this to be a silhouette, so it's just sort of all filled in of a profile of a person's face. I might include a tear as a bit of symbolism. Now that's just the first part of my image, and it's a bit rough, but I think it's clear enough to be able to read. If I'm a bit worried, for example, that the tear might not be clear, I can just add I can add that in either the general description or the photographic and visual techniques. So I might add it here. A teardrop is clearly visible on the main character's face. Notice a few other things though. I've remembered the rule of thirds. This basically falls along the third line. The image is a little bit rough, but that's okay. This isn't an art project. But what it isn't, it's not a stick figure. I can clearly see the shape of where I want this to be. That's really important because you have to show how it will fill the frame. And even though it's a bit rough, I can see that I've got in silhouette someone's head with their nose, so they're in profile, filling this part of the frame. Okay, let's go back and keep drawing. So, got my pen here. So the next thing is I want to show that they're remembering all the bad things that have happened to them. So I'm going to do that by having three bubbles, three sort of images on this image. So it'll just be a dark background, but around here, and maybe there, and maybe there. That's about on the third line, see? So I'm remembering that rule of thirds. I'm going to have three different images, maybe with some words. I haven't actually prepared mine, but you'll have done a lot more thinking than I have. So here I might have someone, you know, pointing and laughing. So that's a hand, and they can have an evil grin and nasty face. And maybe I could have some text like, you know, idiot or something because they're being bullied. They can have a second arm too. This next picture might be, I don't know, someone might be that person then getting in a headlock while someone else gives them a noogie. That's pretty mean, to reflect the bullying idea as well. Again, you'd have planned all this out beforehand, and I'm sort of winging it for this demonstration. And for the final one, maybe something else, a locker with the lock on it. And someone spray painted across something mean across the locker. Okay, so each of those should really go in my general description as well. The memories are someone laughing and pointing, a bully giving a noogie. Don't know how to spell noogie, something like that. Not sure if you know what that is. It's when you rub someone's skull so it hurts. And the last one is graffiti on a locker. Okay. So now the last section is to fill in the photographic and visual techniques. So so this is the sort of basic description of what my image is. This is the ideas I'm trying to convey. This one is a lot more specific about what techniques am I using to get across those ideas. So for example, I can talk about the framing, the lighting. So the sad face fills the left third of the image. The face is black with a white tear. Sorry, is black and in silhouette with a white tear drawing attention. What other techniques do I have? I can also say that the face is tilted downwards to reflect sadness. For the first bubble there, I could use a low angle. To reflect the power of the bully. Perhaps I could say the image is desaturated, which means it lacks color. desaturated, no, that's the correct spelling, which means it lacks color, except for the graffiti, which is bright red. This conveys a sense of heightened emotion and even violence potentially, the color red. Okay, so that's the type of thing you can include there. You need to talk about where you place things, the colors you use, the body language that's used, any photographic or artistic technique that is used to convey your idea. Oh, I might also point out that the oops, be careful, I've gone over the page. The bubbles will have feathered edges, sort of blurred edges, to get across the idea that they are memories. Okay, you get the idea. So just to recap, project title is the same on every page of your storyboard. You number each page. You have one storyboard template for each page of your project. So if it's a maximum length of 10 pages, you would have 10 storyboard pages. This area is where you draw exactly the layout, a very clear representation of what will be in your final product. You need to not use stick figures, you must use full shapes to show how they will fill the page. You can use different colored pens and things like that to reflect color. You can think about shading and lighting, all of that sort of thing. It should be a really clear representation of what your final page will look like. General description is where you write down the basically a written description of what the image shows, just a straightforward written description of it. Photographic and visual details is where you talk about the actual techniques that you're using. So things like color, framing, the camera angles, exposure settings even. And finally, what is conveyed to the audience? What are the actual ideas that you're trying to get across through this page? What emotions, or what ideas, as in what plot points, what parts of the story are you trying to get across? I hope this is clear. I hope this will be useful for you as you now go and create your own storyboards. Good luck.